Hi, my name is Jana Coleman, and today we're going to talk about manipulatives and how they support classroom assessment. This video is geared towards K through 12 because manipulatives can be used throughout K through 12 in mathematics. So in this presentation, I'm going to go over what manipulatives are. Then there's a video, Fun with Math Manipulatives, that I will show. And it also has a link attached because I'm not sure if I can play the video during this presentation. Then I'm going to describe the difference between concrete versus abstract. Then we're going to talk about some evidence of learning. And then I'm going to discuss with you or show you the many different types of manipulatives that are out there, whether they are store-bought or teacher-made. And then I have my last slide is some interactive websites that you can use if you do not have readily available manipulatives. So this is the video that I was talking about, Fun with Math Manipulatives, and here is the link if you would like to view that on YouTube. It basically shows you how you can use manipulatives in a mathematics classroom. For example, this photo right here, you see that they're using candy corn and the pumpkin candy corn. This is just one of many ways that you can use many different types of manipulatives. This video is a great resource on explaining how to use math manipulatives in the classroom if you do not know how to specifically do that. I'm going to go into what manipulatives are. What are they? They are physical objects that are used as teaching tools. These are hands-on learning objects in mathematics. It helps with moving the students from concrete thinking to abstract thinking, which is why we're going to go into explaining the difference between concrete thinking versus abstract. Manipulatives are defined as concrete objects. You can manipulate these objects, which means you can move and touch these objects. Students will use these objects to explore, test, and apply the ideas of the math concepts. The use of these manipulatives will help with developing that concrete understanding of the concept being taught. If the students are able to understand that concept being taught, if they have that concrete understanding of that content, then they will more so be able to move on to an abstract level, which means they'll be able to use only numbers and mathematical symbols. They will no longer need the use of, or not so much need, they will no longer have to just rely on those objects. They will be able to understand and think using only numbers and symbols. So some evidence of learning. Manipulatives can be used to formally assess your students. The use of manipulatives provides you with that evidence of the student learning. If you are walking around as your students are completing a task and they are using manipulatives, you will clearly be able to see if they are understanding the concept being taught. They are a great tool, once again, for formatively assessing your students. It encourages discussion. Your students should be able to clearly explain how it is they came about that answer using those manipulatives. It provides you with a vivid picture of students' understanding. You should be able to walk around and just clearly see what it is that they are or are not understanding. It helps with determining appropriate instructional approaches. You should be able to see where it is that they specifically went wrong and what it is that you need to hone into on with them. Using those manipulatives. So there are so many choices of manipulatives. For example, some are fraction bars, Cuisenaire rods, which I just learned about this semester, which are amazing. Colored chips, base 10 blocks, which are the go-to types of manipulatives. Geo boards, tangrams. The picture that you see there is of tangrams. Interlocking cubes, which are unit cubes or centimeter blocks. They just have different names for them. Well, some unit cubes do not interlock, which I guess is why they have the difference between interlocking cubes and unit cubes. Um, Pattern blocks, popsicle sticks, but once again, there are just so many choices of manipulatives that you can use throughout the school year. Some interactive websites to use if you do not have manipulatives readily available to you or your students. You can always use these websites to go on to and get that and use them on your Promethean board or your smart board in your classroom. My references, but I'm going to go back to the interactive websites just in case you guys want to write those down. It's a great resource to use. If once again, if those manipulatives are not readily available to you. Alrighty, and that is the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed, or I hope I gave you some good resources to use in your own classroom. Because once again, this is not just for early childhood education. This is for pre-K through 12. All right, have a good evening.